Stefon Diggs says he is frustrated with his role with the Bills. Due to frustration with his role with the offense, Ken Dorsey was the offensive coordinator for the Bills last season after taking over for Brian Daboll, who became the head coach of the New York Giants. And by the way, he was coach of the year. Diggs had 154 total targets in the regular season, third highest of his career. Diggs had 9 targets in the Bills playoff game against the Dolphins and 10 targets in the playoff game against the Bengals. Diggs had 11 catches for 149 yards in 2 playoff games combined. Diggs has been a Pro Bowler in all 3 seasons with the Buffalo Bills and an All-Pro player in 2 out of the 3 seasons. I'm not a big fan of Stefon Diggs. Never was. I think he's a talented player. I know he believes he's the star of that team when he's not. The quarterback will always be looked at as the guy. As much as he doesn't care about that, he does. He's got an interesting personality, as everybody knows Stefon Diggs. He's a jealous person, as we know Jalen Ramsey is, and took shots at Josh Allen. Now, I'm not saying Stefon Diggs is taking shots at Josh Allen, but I don't know what was going on in the playoffs on the Bills' sidelines against the Bengals. I don't know what was said. All I saw was Diggs going crazy, and so was Josh Allen. And then all of a sudden, they were so apologetic after the game, after they lost against a Bengals team they should have beaten. This story only tells me one thing about Stefon Diggs. He's a big baby. That's what he is. He got his money. It's not about money. He's frustrated because he's not seeing the ball as much as he should. Is Gabe Davis crying about that? Gabe Davis hasn't said anything. Gabe Davis, under Daboll, saw the ball a lot. Now, in a Ken Dorsey offense, he's not. Do you see him crying about it? No. And you know why? Because if he goes out on the field and he shows himself to be great, he will be used in a new offense to be great.
And Stefon Diggs is great, and that's why you don't have to complain about targets, because you are getting a lot. What I think it is more is the depth of the targets. I think the Bengals playoff game especially, he was getting more short targets, which was very surprising when against the Bengals you want to attack them deep because their corners last year were not great. And I'll give Eli Apple credit. He did overperform, but their corners on paper were nothing special. That Miami game, he played great in the first half, but died out in the second half, and they have a good secondary. So I would give more of that rather than the total targets itself. I think that was what happened at the end of Minnesota when Mike Zimmer just wanted to run the ball a lot and play shorter passes. I think with Buffalo, it's not about money. It's about getting him the more sophisticated routes as one of the best route runners in the league.
Tyreek Hill is under investigation of assault and battery at a marina as an employee, according to the Miami police, complained that he put his hands on him. Police reports mention a disagreement between Hill and an employee, and Hill slapped him on the back of the head. I don't want to hear about Drew Rosenhaus speaking for Hill or any of that. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Here's what I'm going to say. Tyreek Hill is making a lot of money. He was the best wide receiver in football last year. I don't want to hear about Jefferson. Jefferson didn't have numbers like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, some people say he's not even the best wide receiver on his team. But he led the league in yards per catch. He led the league in about 3 of the 5 big categories for a wide receiver.
And he led the league in 20-plus yard catches, too.
I don't believe that Tyreek Hill doesn't have the talent to take this team to the next level. What I do believe is this guy doesn't know how to keep his hands to himself. Domestic violence situation with his girlfriend probably swept under the rug even deeper, and that's why he was drafted in the 6th round. That's why he fell. I don't know what Tyreek Hill is and what pushes him to do stupid things like this.
And there was the child abuse charges, too, that he had at the beginning of the 2019 season as well, where they swept that under the rug, too. And you saw Adrian Peterson when he had the child abuse charges in 2014. He got suspended the whole season, and you're right, it really destroyed his career, too, because he was coming off a 2013 season that wasn't as amazing as his 2012 season, but no running back season will ever be that good as what he had after all those injuries he had. But still, he was out for the full season, and he never was the same player after that, and the NFL should be able to track down on this with Tyreek Hill. It was a big group that he wanted to get on the boat, and they didn't let him. This is not something that should be taken lightly because it is assault. It is technically a criminal charge. Watch out, Tyreek Hill. You might have to face some trouble there.
I think he'll get out of it because he's making a lot of money and can pay everybody off. And that's what sports is. Look at Craig Carton. Look what Craig Carton just got, and he leaves WFAN to go to FS1 because he's making 7 digits now. Craig Carton, the guy that was put in jail for 2 years when he should have had a 10 or 12-year sentence, and now he's making all that money. It's just despicable how everybody looks at somebody because they have the money, they can get themselves out of trouble. It's ridiculous.